Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we'll have a look at the latest GFS Ensembles, and we'll have a look at some precipitation charts. We do have some heavy rain around, especially in the south, throughout the next few days. We do have weather warnings in force, we'll have a look at that as well, and we'll have a look at the live radar as well at the end of the video. Do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. Do remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link is in the description. Now, over the next few days, we're going to see some very interesting conditions. We're going to sort of see the reverse of what we would sort of typically see in this country, where the south is going to be wetter and cooler, and the north is going to be warmer and drier and probably more sunny as well. So we're going to see fairly pleasant conditions in the north under this ridge, and cooler and wetter conditions in the south, and especially the southwest, where we do rain warnings in force. Now, yesterday I did update you on those thunderstorms we did see breaking out in sort of northeast London. If you have Twitter, and you may have seen through, I think it was in trending. In fact, I think Barking was trending, because in that region of London we actually saw a tornado, which had pretty significant damage. We got walls get taken down, garden fences getting taken down, wheelie bins swept away. Now, it wasn't a photogenic tornado, there wasn't a lot of condensation, but there was definitely rotation within the cloud in the videos I saw, and there was quite significant wind gusts, knocking all this stuff over. So estimates, there potentially was an EF1 tornado that was actually touched down. Funnel clouds were seen, but no official touchdown was made, so we can't officially say. But looking at the damage, and I saw one video seeing a wheelie bin about 100 meters in the air. So very interesting addition we saw yesterday. And again, it does show you, when we have the right sort of surface-based heating, right upper level conditions, we can get thunderstorms with low pressure, no matter what or how hot or how much cape there is. Now, of course, there was moderate cape, there was wind shear around, all aiding storm formation. But it just shows you don't need that sort of 30-35 degree sort of heat build-up, and that we normally expect pre-big intense thunderstorms. That was an isolated thunderstorm, dropped a lot of rain, few inches of rain fell in certain regions, and there was flooding in homes and stuff. Very localized, of course, as well as that tornado, which looked like it went for down one residential road before dissipating. So very localized, but it's something we're going to have to keep an eye out in over the next few days, as if these conditions remain, we could be seeing some very interesting conditions, potentially repeating that sort of scenario over the next few days. So if we run through the GFS, you see that low pressure that's sinking way southwards. It did form those thunderstorms yesterday. Again, it's not exactly the same conditions, but it does show you what we could be seeing. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye on the radar and look at Met Office Twitter page as well, and their app, as they did issue yellow warnings for those thunderstorms. Very localized yellow warnings for those thunderstorms yesterday, and they were really warranted. But if we move through the GFS, you see that low sort of sticks around through the middle of this week before slowly edging away, but never really completely dissipating, but eventually getting swallowed up by this larger low out in the Atlantic. And it's going to be bringing in some cooler air in off the Atlantic, probably some more cloud and rain, especially further northwards, and further south is probably going to remain fairly unsettled. But temperatures looking around average for this time of year. Nothing too cool, nothing too warm, and it does look like in the longer term low pressure is going to be around for most of the country. So it does look like the south could be seeing a lot of on and off rain over the next few weeks. Doesn't look like we're going to see any major sort of dry spell, especially in the south, with any like sort of heat wave conditions that we'd hope to start seeing around July. Normally July is sort of the best month for seeing very high temperatures, and sort of heat wave conditions, but looking like at the moment we're not seeing anything too conductive of that throughout the first sort of week or two of July at the moment. Now, it can change quite quickly. If we have a look at the GFS ensembles for London, you can see how there is a lot of scatter. Over the next sort of 10 days or so, you've seen temperatures are largely around average. Beyond that, temperatures are around average to just a touch above average, but you can see some very hot ensemble members coming out, some getting up to 20 degrees at 850 HPA, which would widely give mid to low 30s. So we could be seeing that sort of conditions, but at the moment it's an outlier on the ensemble members. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it longer term. But this time of year, it's expected to see these sort of bizarre runs where we do see sort of the GFS and its ensembles showing immensely high temperature levels at 850 HPA. It's just something we need to keep an eye on, as if we to see if we do start to see trends of these ensemble members shifting hotter, and then we can start looking at the potential of any heatwave conditions. But at the moment, you can see with all these precipitation spikes, it does look like low pressure is going to generally be more involved. Over the next few days, you can see repeated bands of showery rain, potentially thunderstorms within that. And then beyond that, in the longer term, still unsettled. Too difficult at the moment to pinpoint, really beyond about 3 or 4 days. But yeah, still generally looks pretty unsettled. If we do have a look at the icon at the rain over the next few days, you see in the north, generally things are quite warm. You can probably see there's going to be about mid-20s in the north, potentially, in a few localised spots over the next few days. But yeah, you can see perhaps in Scotland 22, 23 degrees, but in the south only 12 or 13. Just shows you the big temperature contrast we could be seeing. But you can see that rain is starting to pile into the southwest this evening. For heads further northwards, and you see it peps up, potentially with some thunderstorms on its northern edge as it heads into central and southern England, into parts of South Wales as well, spreading into showers and thunderstorms before dissipating further northwards. We see a bit of respite on Monday before more showers and thunderstorms move in throughout sort of the afternoon into evening, especially southwestern areas can see a lot of rain, and then more rain coming in on that easterly wind, moving a bit further northwards than initially was anticipated over the last few days. But yeah, up to probably sort of Manchester all the way across sort of Yorkshire areas, sort of the northern extent of the heavier rain that we could be seeing. Again, it's likely to be in showery bands, so you could be in England or southern England and parts of Wales and not see any rain. Or see very light rain, a few on and off showers, or you could get stuck under a band of persistent rain and see quite a lot of rain in a short period of time. So have to just really keep an eye on that. Again, more heavy showers spiraling around before the low eventually sort of dissipates and spreads away to the southeast. But if we have a look at the precipitation over the next sort of 120 hours, now I looked at this yesterday and it looks very similar, sort of broad pattern of around 1 inch to 2 inches of rain quite widely. So 20 to about 50 millimetres. You see there's a band of showers coming in over sort of northern England and North Midlands, so we have to keep an eye on that. That's popped up in this latest run. And then generally areas around M4 south was looking pretty wet, around 30, 40, 50 millimetres over the next 120 hours. And then you see in the southwest where we could be seeing some issues with potentially 50 to 100 millimetres of rain in some localised spots, and we do have a yellow warning in force for that by the Met Office. Obviously, they've seen the risk we could be seeing with persistent rain. Now, many areas in the south have seen a lot of rain over the last few weeks. It is the summer, so we do get a lot of evaporation. This were in the winter, I would expect pretty significant flooding issues from this. But we are in the summer, so we do get very good evaporation when we do see sun. So we could see some surface flooding if we do see persistent rain and very heavy rain, like a big thunderstorm that we saw yesterday in northeast London. But we just have to keep an eye on that. It's nothing we can really forecast too well in advance. We can show a general area like the Met Office is highlighted in the southwest where we're likely to see heaviest rain, but it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly where the sort of heaviest sort of cells or heaviest sort of bands of rain are going to exactly go through, and that could make a big difference over what sort of surface water flooding we could be seeing. But anywhere in the sort of southern England area, there's potential over the next few days could see some persistent rain at times, and a few isolated thunderstorms as well, which could again provide quite significant conditions. If we do run through the arpege, again, we'll run through this quickly. You can see rain spreading to the southwest at the moment. A few showers coming into central southern England by sort of mid tomorrow afternoon. Many areas of England, apart from the southwest and immediate south coast, should generally have a dry day until around lunchtime into the mid-afternoon when we start to see more showers spread in. There's a bit of uncertainty over exact timings of that, so I would check out the radar around sort of 10, 11 tomorrow morning to see the progress of these showers and rain. But it does look like generally that rain band will move in quite quite swiftly northwards by sort of the evening, sort of 6-7 p.m, spreading northwards before slowly dissipating away before we see another round of rain move in through Monday morning, around Monday lunchtime, before Monday evening that starts to dissipate, but still sort of showery bands around central England. Does look like a lot of cloud, potentially some drizzle within that as well. And then by Tuesday evening, more showers and rain coming in from the east. It does look like sort of a classic sort of easterly setup, where in winter we'd be seeing snow showers pile in, but in summer a lot of sort of low cloud probably, and some quite drizzly light rain conditions. And when we do see any convection with some air, with occluded front or a little feature or convergence zone, that's where we could see showers pep up, and you can see that on these models where we do see those darker colours suddenly pop up, like for example on the south coast there. If we're looking at this sort of mid-afternoon Tuesday, it looks like there's going to be a convergence zone there where we could see some heavier showers pop up. So it's really going to have to keep an eye on the latest radar. It's one of these scenarios where, similar to yesterday where we saw those thunderstorms pop up, it's very much a nowcast situation, very difficult to forecast exactly where the heaviest rain is going to be, but generally do be prepared to see some heavy rain in many southern areas. If we finally have a look at the high-resolution UK Met Office model, if we run through, you can see again a few showers this evening, southwest getting a few showers as well, spreading in over tomorrow morning. And then by around lunchtime tomorrow, heavier rain starts to spread into this immediate south coast before showers and thunderstorms start to develop on its northern edge, spreading it up northwards. By sort of mid-evening, we should start to see it head to sort of M4 northwards before slowly dissipating away. Still some heavier pulses in there, but doesn't look like there's going to be any active thunderstorms or cells within that. Slowly dissipating away before spreading sort of westwards. And then we see again maybe some more thunderstorms and maybe isolated showers through Monday afternoon before some more persistent, heavier rain. And again, maybe thunderstorms moves in through Monday evening, again peppering many areas in the south and southwest before we see more showers heading in from the east. So again, central southern England, there's a very high chance we do see at least a few thunderstorms pop off with this scenario. Very difficult to say exactly where, but it does look like there could be some quite severe heavy rain, and again lightning strikes, thunderstorms, and again big convection. So surface water flooding is probably going to be the biggest impact. Again, there could be frequent lightning, but it doesn't look like there's going to be too much cape, so it doesn't look like there's going to be massive sort of torrential storms with big lightning, but always can get storms, and we could be seeing quite persistent rain, which could, we do see heavier pulses, contribute to surface flooding. So we have to really keep an eye on the radar over the next few days. So if we lastly have a look at the latest weather warnings, we got this through Sunday and Monday. It's the same weather warning in southwest England, spreading into parts of southern Wales as well. Areas of persistent, sometimes heavy rain may lead to localised flooding. You can see persistent heavy rain, possibly thundery. So Met Office clocking on to potential for some thunderstorms and a few cells move across southern and southwestern areas of England and parts of South Wales through Sunday afternoon, persisting into Monday morning before easing. 20 to 40 millimetres is likely, potentially 60 to 80. And then again, when we do see a thunderstorm or an isolated cell, we could see 15 to 25 millimetres within an hour, which is quite significant. Could cause some travel disruption and flooding. You can see at the moment, it's an unlikely thing to happen when we do see sort of flooding, but it's got very high impact. So there is the potential there. There's just not a lot of certainty where exactly it will pop up. So anyway, make sure you keep up to date with the latest radar if you are in the south. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well, as I'll updating if any thunderstorms do start to pop off. And do make sure you follow Met Office Twitter page as well, and their app, looking at their latest radar and any warning updates they do enforce, as they are pretty up to date with many of their forecasts throughout the day, regularly updating their social media feeds. So generally, if you do have a look at that a few times a day, it's unlikely you'll miss any weather warnings, as we could be seeing a few pop-up warnings similar to what we saw yesterday over the next few days. So just really keep an eye on that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.